Hi friends, welcome to the next topic, that is the Great Plains of India after the Himalayas. Now the name suggests why they are known as the Great Plains of India. The name Great Plains is because this is the largest alluvial plain in the world. That means this is one of the largest fertile tract in the world, and therefore the name is the Great Plains. How it is formed? It is formed due to the depositional work of Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra river, and it stretches for around 3,200 kilometers, out of which 2,400 kilometers lies in India alone. Out of which the 2,400 kilometers lies in India alone. So this greatest alluvial tract in the world, this greatest fertile tract in the world, no doubt supports maximum number of population, making India the second largest, most populated country in the world, as well as making this Great Plains of India as the maximum populated states of India. You can see which is the maximum populated state of India. Uttar Pradesh. It lies in the Great Plains of India. Where is the maximum density of population in India? Bihar, Bengal. So it lies in the Great Plains of India. And these Great Plains are known by different names such as Punjab Plains, Haryana Plains, Ganga Plains, Bengal region, and entire Bangladesh region, or the Assam Plains of India. But how are they formed? They are formed due to the depositional work of Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra river. Depositional work of the sediments which has been brought down by the rivers. Which rivers? The rivers Indus, which flows here, and its tributaries, river Ganga and its tributaries, river Brahmaputra and its tributaries. And this entire, you can see the entire Bangladesh is also covered in the Great Plains of India. Great Plains of the world, but because we are doing Indian geography, I have not marked that topic. So these are formed by the depositional work of Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra river, hence they are also known as Indo-Gangetic plains, sometimes as Indo-Ganga Brahmaputra plains. And because it is a deposition means collection, these are also known as an aggradational plains. So what are the Great Plains of India? Great Plains of India are examples of aggradational plains, that means depositional plains formed by the three rivers, which stretches from east to west for the distance of 3,200 kilometers, out of which maximum area lies in India alone. This is the largest alluvial tract in the world. Why alluvial tract? Because this is the formed by river deposition, and therefore thus are the largest alluvial plains in the world. Now you can see from the diagram which I have drawn here, you can see the width here. It is greatest in the width in the west, and it is extremely narrow in the Assam region in the east. So the greatest, widest plains are on the western side in the Indus region, in the Indus river made by the Indus, and also includes the Rajasthan region, also Rajasthan Bagar region, while the Brahmaputra plains in the east are the narrowest. Why? Because these Brahmaputra plains are the narrowest because they are bounded by the Shivalik ranges or the Himalayas in the north and the peninsular plateau in the south. So you can see there is a proper boundary for the Great Plains of India, that is the Himalayas in the north and the Himalayas in the north and the peninsular plateau in the south. Therefore, the next point you have to remember from the exam point of view, they are widest in the west and narrow in the east. What is the feature of the plain? If you are going through the plain, you will see just a flat, monotonous land. You can say flat, monotonous feature. So the extreme horizontality or extremely monotonous feature is a characteristic feature of this plains. There is an extremely horizontality. Why? What do you mean by extreme horizontality? If you go to Himalayas, you will see valleys. You will see the change in relief. There will be valleys, there will be mountains, there will be winding roads, there will be ghats, there will be up. Some mountain will be very high, some mountain will be at a lower height. Similarly, if you come to the peninsular plateau of India, that is this region of India, this entire peninsular plateau of India, you can see even यहाँ पे there is a change in the relief. How there is a change in the relief? There is Western Ghat region, there is Eastern Ghats region, there are Vindhyas and Satpura ranges, there are some of the diagonal ranges, then there are some of the hills here, there are beautiful hill stations also, Kodaikanal, Mahabaleshwar, Mathiran. So this is having a different relief features, but in the plains of India, it is an extremely horizontal plain. So the extreme horizontality is the characteristic feature of the Great Plains of India. What is the general elevation? The mean elevation of the Great Plains of India is 200 meters above the sea level. So it is an extremely flat plain, जहाँ पे the average height is around 200 meters above the sea level. And if you progress from the Delhi to maybe West Bengal or to the delta of Brahmaputra and Ganga in Bangladesh, you will see the land changes in height or decreases in height for just 15 centimeters for every kilometer. 15 centimeters for every kilometer change is not even, we cannot perceive such changes. Human perception cannot perceive such changes. That is why we say it is an extremely horizontal plane. But this extreme horizontally, it's broken because the maximum elevation of this plane is found between Ambala in Haryana and Saharanpur in UP. So the maximum elevation is found in this region. Does it have anything to do with your studies? Does it have anything to do with your exam questions? Yes. This maximum elevation at Ambala, it will be somewhat like this. Ambala is at a greater height, and this forms a watershed between the Yamuna or the Satluj or the Satluj river system and the Yamuna river. It forms a watershed between Satluj and Yamuna, or in the proper way we can say that it forms a watershed. If it is not visible, we can say it forms a watershed between the Satluj river here and the Yamuna river here. Or we can say in a proper way that it forms a watershed between the Indus river system on the west and the Ganga river system on the east. It forms a watershed between the Indus and the Ganga river system. So this horizontal feature is known as the Great Plains of India. What are the points from the exam point of view? It is an aggradational plain. What do you mean by aggradational? It means a depositional feature. What is the width? 3000 kilometers from east to west or from west to east, out of which maximum area lies in India. Some area is in Pakistan. Entire Bangladesh is a plain, but compared to India, it is small. Then it is the largest alluvial tract in the world. It is widest in the west. It is most important point from the exam point of view. It is widest in the west and it is narrow in the east. That means if I ask you in which river system it is narrowest in the Brahmaputra river system, because this river is the Brahmaputra, this river is the Indus, and this river here is the Ganga river system. So it is no doubt Ganga and Brahmaputra joined here in the Bangladesh region. So it is narrowest in the Assam region, which is drained by river Brahmaputra. Extreme horizontality, but a higher elevation near Ambala, which is a watershed or a water divide between the Indus river system and the Ganga river system. Now let us look at the origin of this Great Plains of India. And for the origin of the Great Plains of India, I will take the help of the geomorphology, the theory of a plate tectonics. You know how did the Himalayas form? The Himalayas were formed due to the collision of Indian plate, that is, which consisted of the peninsular India and the Asian plate. The sediments were compressed to form the three parallel ranges of the Himalayas. But whenever the collision occurs, there is a subduction zone or there is a depression. Now, this is an example of a continent-continent collision which consists of the Indian plate on this side and the Asian plate on this side. So it is an example of a continent-continent collision, or it is an example of a convergent plate boundary, and therefore there is a depression which I have shown by this depression here. What is happening? The Indian plate is slightly going below the Asian plate in this region. You don't have to go that much into detail for this, but this depression in this depression there were numerous rivers originating from the Himalayas. The three great rivers and unka tributaries, the three great rivers of Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra originated from the Himalayas. And this, in the Himalayas, all these rivers are the younger rivers. You know, in geomorphology, younger rivers means what? The erosive power is greater or lesser? The erosive power is greater. When the erosive power is greater, sediment will be greater, and therefore they bring large amount of sediments, and these sediments have been filled up in this, or the sediments have been deposited in this foredip or depression. So the Great Plains of India represent a foredip or a depression which is lying between the peninsula and the Himalayas. And in this foredip or depression, the Himalayan rivers have deposited the sediments, giving rise to Great Plains of India, or the Great Plains of India. What kind of sediments? Alluvial sediments, giving rise to the Great Plains of India. So we can say the Great Plains of India are result of filling up of a foredip or a depression that was lying between the Himalayas and the peninsular India. So it is the result of filling up of this depression. So I am writing filling up of foredip or a depression, which is lying between the peninsula and India. So these are the general characteristics of the Great Plains of India. What are the exam questions you should remember? You should remember the extreme horizontality, you should remember the width, and you should remember the origin. That is, they are formed due to filling up of foredip or depression. Now the next topic is geomorphology of the Great Plains of India. What do you mean by geomorphology? Structure. Or is there any change in the soil structure, rock structure of the Great Plains of India? Though on the surface the Great Plains of India look extremely flat and monotonous, still geomorphologically the Great Plains of India can be divided into Bhabar, Tarai, Bangar and Khadar region. So this is what is the geomorphology of the Great Plains of India. That is their division into Bhabar, Tarai, Bangar and Khadar. Again, a very important question for the examination, both prelims and mains examination. What do you mean by Bhabar? What do you mean by Tarai? What do you mean by Bangar and Khadar? Or what do you mean by the geomorphology of the Great Plains of India? I will continue with the geomorphology of the Great Plains of India in the next lecture. Watch it in continuation so that you do not miss the link. Till the time we meet again, thank you very much.